Hello and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm close to being done with my TV awards from 2022. This is Best Actor in a Drama Series. These are my top 10 awards. Um, I don't usually give honorable mentions, but I have to because I kind of started. I mean, his show dropped right at the end of the year, and I watch things weekly. So I just want to say that the only reason I'm leaving John Krasinski off the list is because I'm only like 3 episodes into his season of Jack Ryan. I don't really know if he'd make my list. I don't really know that he wouldn't make my list. So he's a question mark. Otherwise, the rest of the list is I feel good about. Um, yeah. So anyway, now that I got that out of the way, these are my top 10 Best Actor in a Drama Series. Coming in at number 10 is Jonathan Bailey for Bridgerton. Um, yeah, this is one of those nice surprises. Season 1 of Bridgerton, I thought he was a bit of a twat, to be totally honest. And then when they're like, oh, season 2 is going to be based around him, I was like, what the fuck? But you know what? They backstoried his character really well. And they fleshed him out, and by spending more time with him, I actually got to learn more about him. I just completely turned around on his character. I thought he was great, and he did a lot of good work. And there were some impossible choices he had to make, and he had some really nice moments in season 2 of Bridgerton. So, mad props to Jonathan Bailey. I don't think enough people said his name when we were talking about awards consideration, but he's on my list, and number 9 is going to blow your fucking mind. My 9th pick is Jabari Banks from Bel Air. This is on Peacock with audio description. And yes, yeah, I picked Jabari. You know, it's tough to come in and do the remake of Bel Air and to follow in Will Smith's footsteps, as we saw when Jesse T. Usher tried to basically be Will Smith in Independence Day Resurgence. It is really hard to just suddenly wake up and be the new Will Smith. But Jabari did a really nice job of becoming his own. He doesn't feel like he's mimicking or trying to fill the void, but he's interesting all in himself. And his character, because Bel Air is now a drama, was thrown a lot of really great story arcs and loops. And I definitely felt like he was like leading the cast, like he was the strongest performance in the cast. And I'm really excited for Bel Air season 2. I hope people give the show a chance. And it's not easy playing essentially a show that was about somebody. I mean, this, if we're being honest, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air was literally about Will Smith. He was the Fresh Prince back then. That was his rapper name. You know, there was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Well, that's what it was. And then they plugged the Fresh Prince into his own show. So the show was tailor-made for him. It would be like somebody coming along later on and just playing Seinfeld, but they're not Seinfeld, you know? But they're like remaking Seinfeld without Seinfeld. It's an odd concept, but they made it work, and Jabari does a great job of capturing that character. So number 8 on my list is another one that might surprise people because he didn't get any awards attention, but Alan Ritchson for Reacher, which is on Amazon with audio description. I thought he did an excellent job in this role as well, investigating the murder of his brother. That was what the whole first season was about. He really set the tone for what his Jack Reacher is going to be like, which is very different from Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher. Again, he's following somebody else who has, you know, a deep, you know, I mean, it's Tom Cruise. Like, Alan Ritchson has been in a couple of things, but he's not Tom Cruise. suddenly he has to create his own persona and his own version of Jack Reacher and make a stamp and make it memorable, and also um, veer in a way that people will still like him, even if they would rather it was Tom Cruise. Personally, I actually liked Alan Richardson as Jack Reacher better. Um, I think he, uh, I think he just there's something about him that was very imposing and no nonsense, whereas Tom Cruise, it felt a lot like Ethan Hunt, you know, felt like the character we've seen before. But for Alan, because we've seen him in less things, it felt more like, who is this guy? Oh, I need to know more about this guy. Oh, this guy scares me. So, anyway, he's on my list. Coming in at number 7 is hopefully a little bit more of an obvious choice. Hopefully more people talk about his performance, but it's Joel Kinnaman For All Mankind on Apple Plus, which has audio description. Joel's fantastic in this. He has been for seasons. He's been leading this. And this past season was all about him being willing to potentially give up his life to save someone else's. Was like his biggest character arc moment, and he fought tooth and nail to be on this Mars project and to go out there, and he has so many great moments throughout the season, where he's trapped in the room with Gordo's kid, and there's so much that's unsaid, but you can feel it being said. It's man, it was just such a great season for Joel Kinnaman on For All Mankind. I wish more people would enjoy his performance, but I don't know. I don't know where people are at with this series. It never seems to get Emmy nominations, but it deserves them. Number 6 on my list is Adam Scott for Severance. And if you're thinking Adam Scott is low on my list, you might be right. But I'd say, why don't you wait and see who the others are? Because there's some great performances this year. Adam Scott had some really nice moments in the first season of Severance. I think his character will continue to grow, and I think as his character continues to uncover more of the world around him, his performance will only continue to strengthen. So the fact that he's 6th in his first season doesn't really bother me that much, because I think what we're in store for is going to be an increase in his character and pushing further and further of Adam Scott's dramatic abilities. So, a little bit like one of my choices higher on my list. Coming up, number 5 on my list is Jeff Bridges for The Old Man. He's doing action spy things and his thing. This has audio description on Hulu, by the way. After we all fought for it, there was a community of people that were constantly berating Hulu and calling them and being like, "Where is the audio description?" Because it stopped after the first 2 episodes. They were like, that's all they need. First 2 episodes. No. Go back. Go back and add audio description to the whole season. But he gives a really good performance. It's really complex, and I'm excited for the second season. I'm excited to see where they continue to take this character and his dynamic with John Lithgow, who was my pick for supporting actor of the year for a drama. So that's where Jeff Bridges is. Number 4 on my list is Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. And this one's tough because of what I just said about John Krasinski. I haven't finished the season because I started to watch it. I was coming out of having watched all of the seasons on Netflix with audio description, and I wanted to watch the final season, but then I started to do so, and eventually I was like, you know what? I don't want to ruin this for myself and finish it. I'll just wait for Netflix to put audio description on it. So I've seen like some of it. But I guess It's just my respect for everything he's done so far in Better Call Saul. Plus, it's the final season. It's the last chance for me to ever mention Bob Odenkirk on a list. So I took what I have had, what I've seen, everything together, and I put him on the list. But maybe it would be higher if they bothered to put audio description on Better Call Saul when it airs live instead of waiting to Netflix. But that's life. And that's why Bob Odenkirk is fourth. In case you're a big Better Call Saul fan, I'm sorry. Netflix still hasn't given. I love that season 11 of The Walking Dead is on Netflix, but not the final season of Better Call Saul. Whatever. Season number 3 on my list is Kevin Costner for Yellowstone, which is on Paramount and does not have audio description. So the whole conversation I just said below. But I watch Yellowstone with somebody who's sighted and is constantly telling me what's going on. And Kevin Costner's voice is really easy to follow and it's really easy to track. So I've been able to follow his performance actually quite well over 5 seasons. And where he's at now as the governor of Montana, it's created an interesting story arc for himself. And he's also got these kids and he's fighting his own son, Jamie, is... and it's... I think he's going to be making some impossible choices when we come back for the last couple episodes, of the season. But it's a great performance, and I think he knows it. So Kevin is third on my list. So who are my top 2? My runner-up is somebody who broke through in a show that I wasn't ready for. I didn't think I would love it this much. I didn't think I would love him in it this much. But the show has awful audio description, but Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King is on Paramount Plus is my runner-up. I just love his performance. I think of all the things we could possibly create for Stallone to do, a lot of times we put him in these action things that he's just too old to be believably kicking that much ass. Here he plays a mob boss that pretty much just kind of gets to stand around and act intimidating, which he's good at doing. This feels like the role he was always born to play but never got to play. He always played the action hero, but he was never really embraced by the mafia movies, the mob movies. There was Copland, but he was on the good side in that. Like he was the good guy in Copland. So... what else can you say? It's a great role for him. It's a return, and I'm so glad that he has it. And Tara Sheridan has created a great show for him to be on. I love Tulsa King, so it was a nice surprise this year. So who's my number 1 pick? Well, you've noticed a name missing off the list, and you probably noticed a couple. But there's one that, if you've noticed so far, I've talked about the show a couple times. It's already been my choice for supporting actress. It got runner-up in actress, and now it is winning actor, and that is Jason Bateman for Ozark, which is on Netflix with audio description. And that's what I was alluding to earlier with Adam Scott, is sometimes when you marinate in a character and the show continues to develop and push itself further and further down the rabbit hole, you end up pulling a tremendous performance out of an actor that is maybe not known for drama. And that's what we've done with Jason Bateman in Ozark, is we've shown just how good he can be. I think he's very undervalued in this series. I think a lot of people look at this as being like a Laura Linney or Julia Garner thing, but he's tremendous in his role. I mean, the show wouldn't work without him. He has to be exactly who he is in this role. Sometimes he's scared, sometimes he's not, but he can't show it. And I'm gonna miss the hell out of Ozark. But I love the fact that it went on a strong note. So I also had another mention down as supporting actress. Just as a reminder, I did have Lisa Emery, who did not win, but was in my top 10. So I had quite a lot of support for Ozark. I'm mentioning that before we jump into Best Drama Series, which is my final list, which you will get tomorrow. So those are my lists. Recapping, just in case you're like, how's his drama been so far? Well, as you just saw, Best Actor, Jason Bateman for Ozark. Best Actress is Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale. Best Supporting Actor is John Lithgow for The Old Man. Best Supporting Actress is Julia Garner for Ozark. And Best Ensemble is For All Mankind. So, who will win Best Drama Series? Find out tomorrow. Until then, I will continue to review things. So continue to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button. I have like 472 children to feed, so I need those subscriptions. And I will see you on the other side.